This is the Betco Big Bertha 30-inch. It's also available in 24-inch. These are really good machines if you strip and wax big, especially wide open areas, hallways, like in hospitals, big lots like what Walmart used to have. These are really a must-have. They do run on propane. If you use one of these, pretty much you got to have a water tank installed. This is an 8-gallon water tank, because if you don't, then what's going to happen is when you're stripping and waxing floors, the stripper is just going to turn to like a sand and goo, and it's a big mess. So if you use one of these, you really want to have a water tank installed. You can take and go to a weld shop and have them make you up a frame to bolt, a tank frame to bolt to the actual machine frame, and then this is like a gas valve which works just fine. I believe it's a 1/2 inch, and if you get an adapter to go up into the bottom of these tanks, they already have an opening, 1/2 inch male to male, and then get the 1/2 inch gas shutoff valve, and then get a 1/2 inch connector with a little barb where you can put the hose, and then run it down on the frame, drill a hole in the very front. That way you can run just a little bit of water. So these are good to have some water flow, otherwise they're pretty much useless. But I can't think of any other way to use it but using a water tank, because let's face it, they have 3 counter rotating brushes on the bottom that spin, and you always want that wet in a wet environment. So let's start it up. This is how it sounds. Usually it's cold out here, so when it's cold, it's always going to be 2 to 3 times, and then after it's good and warmed up, it starts up the first time every time. One. Almost. Probably 3. Well, oh. Alright, let's flip it back and see what it looks like underneath. So here we are underneath. Like I said, you got 3 11-inch brushes. These brushes will all spin one direction, and then this big disc spins the opposite, called counter rotating brushes. And those brushes are pretty well worn down to a knob, but that's what it looks like underneath. And one more thing about these machines, it says on the website that it strips 30,000 square feet in an hour. That's not exactly true. In the real world, if you're using these to strip and wax dirty floors, you're not going fast like what you see in the videos, their advertisement videos. It's actually like a really slow walk. I don't know how many thousands of square feet you really cover, but if you go as fast as what they do in the videos, you're going to be slipping and sliding all over the place. So just go slow, go at a good leisurely pace, run a little bit of water, and go behind it with probably a walk behind. Suck it up, rinse it, do the edges with a side-by-side machine, and I think everything will turn out pretty good. But it's the Betco 30 inch.